Have you ever gotten a present that you really loved and you just couldn't find the words to express how much you loved it? Well, when I was in 4th grade, I got one of those presents. What happened was this man came to our classroom and said, "Hey kids, I've got all these instruments and I think you'd like to learn how to play them." So he gave us all these different instruments and he let us try them. And I went home and I said, "Oh, Mom, please, you've got to let me play this instrument. I'm so excited about it and I love it a lot. In fact, I still have it. I'm going to go get it." Here it is. This is my violin. Many string instruments are actually built the same way as the violin. They start with a piece for the front, cut out the shapes of the violin that they need, then they mold 2 pieces and put them together in the back, and they mold 1 long piece to go around the edges of the violin. There's a lot of details, and they add in the pegs and the string. Here are some other instruments built like a violin. A viola is just a little bit bigger, but you still play it under your chin. A cello, which you have to sit down to play, and a double bass, which you can sit on a stool or stand up to play. These are all instruments that you would find in an orchestra, along with a really neat one called a harp. You can play all of those string instruments by plucking with your fingers or with a bow. This is a bow. It's made out of actually horsehair. All these little threads here are the hair of a horse. It's kind of crazy. But you don't have to play all string instruments with a bow. Let's play a game. It's called Older or Newer. Here's how. Okay, look at the 2 pictures that I'm about to show you. Then decide in your head, not out loud, which instrument is older and which instrument is newer. Then I'll show you again and then answer out loud for each one. Older, newer. Actually, either way that you answered the question, you would be right. The reason is, both of those guitars were made very recently, but the style of the guitar is actually the part that's older or newer. This acoustic guitar is the older style, and this electric guitar is the newer style. Here are some examples of some other guitar style instruments, older to newer, and from around the world. This is a lute. It's from the 13th and 14th century. Sounds a lot like a guitar, but it has more strings. This is an acoustic bass guitar. From Africa, we get the kora, and it is usually made out of a gourd. In the south of the United States, you'll find a banjo. That's playing right now. Similar sounding to a banjo is a sitar, but this is from the country of India. Near India, you'll find Japan. And in Japan, they play the koto. There are even more string instruments than that. Do you remember the 5 string instruments of an orchestra? If so, say their names out loud when you see the picture on the screen. A viola, a string bass, cello, violin, and of course, a harp. I love it. It's so cool. There's this really special spot on the violin called the F hole, and inside of it, there's nothing, not a zip, not a thing. It's hollow inside. The reason they make a violin hollow is so that when you play the string, all the sound from the string travels around and goes inside the violin, and then it bounces around, bounces in the wood inside. And then it comes out even louder and more exciting than it went in. So I can pluck my violin, all 4 strings. I tune it here on the tuning pegs, or I can play it with my bow. It's so fun. Words can't even express how much I love my violin. That's why I have to play music on it. There's no more words, just the music.